Julia, and I am with Julia Sue's Stamping. I'm so excited that you're here today, and thank you for coming to hang out with me for a few minutes. I really appreciate it. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and Stampin' Up! Is a company that specializes in high quality paper products. They have stamps and inks and everything you need to be able to do paper crafting for scrapbooks or home decor, card making. It's a great company. I enjoy working with it, and everything I use is Stampin' Up! I live in Northeast Ohio, and if you are watching this in real time, it's January, very cold out. Today, when I took the dog out to play ball, I think it feels like 23. So actually it's getting warmer out and it's kind of balmy. It's practically toasty out there compared to what it's been lately. And that's okay. It's melting all the snow. So hopefully not too much ice to worry about. I wanted to bring a fun technique to you today. It is a mosaic technique, and let's see if I can hold them up to the camera. I have some fun designer series paper that I have used in all of these. This one says "Feel Better Soon," and here is another happy birthday one with the mosaic technique. This is a great way to use up scraps of designer series paper, and this technique is fantastic for experienced crafters as well as people who have not really done a lot of stamping before or creating cards before, because you can make this as easy or as complicated as you want. So it's a great way to use stuff up and also to make things that are very unique and just for you. So I think we should go ahead and get started. What do you think? One of the things that I used was a foam adhesive sheet to raise up the sentiment, just to have some fun with it and raise it up. And I used some white glimmer paper, some basic white cardstock, as well as adhesive sheets. So I've got the whole package of adhesive sheets here to show you, and they are really handy. I love using these adhesive sheets for lots of different things, and this card is a perfect example of that. I've got some Poppy Parade. Here's the base of the card, a thick white cardstock, and I used the Wanted to Say dies, as well as the cut and emboss machine, which I'm not going to pull up here at this moment to show you. I have the happy birthday dies here right now, and I also did use the Feel Better Soon. There's a Celebrate in here and a You're Too Kind. So it's nice, it fits all those different types of situations, and it's a really good die set to have. They have outlines and the words, the sentiments too. I have a piece of basic white cardstock to start off this whole thing, and I have made it so it is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Yes, it's a little bit bigger than I usually use for an art piece, but that's okay because I'd rather have extra room and cut it down. So I've got a sheet of the adhesive sheets. Now these are very long sheets. They're like, I don't know, like 14 inches long or something. They're really long. And they have on the back these little perforated areas that you can pull off, so it makes it easy to use them. Now, lots of times, I don't know if you can see it, but the adhesive kind of sticks to the sheet as you take it off. And usually that's a problem with the outside edges of the sheet, of the adhesive. Can you see it kind of sticking? Yeah, and that's on the edges where it does that. I'm going to put that away. But in a way, when that happens, that gives my fingers somewhere to go. So I go ahead and peel this one off too. All right, and now we only have the third one left. See, it sticks to your fingers and everything. It's this very, very sticky adhesive. And I'm gonna get that off there. Okay. So now I've got this whole sheet, and I cut this sheet a 1/4 inch smaller than my piece of basic white that I have here, so that there is room. Did you see how sticky that is and how hard it was for me to use that when I have my fingers on it? Well, with the piece of basic white being bigger, now I have somewhere to put my fingers. I can actually put my fingers on the outside edge and not worry about getting them on the adhesive. So I always make sure that my little basic, what's this called? Art piece, thank you. My art piece is bigger so that I have room to use it. Now what I'm doing is I'm really rubbing that adhesive onto the sheet as well as I can. I'm going to use the Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to use that to help peel off the backing now of the adhesive sheet, because I have put it on real well. I'm trying to make it so you can see what I'm doing, picking it away. If I can ever get it under, there we go. Okay. All right, now I've got a place to hold on to. I'm going to carefully peel it off. Peeling, I'm being careful. And ta-da! All right, now I have adhesive all over this sheet of basic white paper, basic white cardstock. Is it going to come into focus here? There we go. All right, now there are some places where there is no adhesive. It has kind of, can you see that? Or there are a couple of spots where there aren't any adhesive because it peeled off when I had this sheet. I'm going to put these over here in the trash can for a moment, and that's okay. We will work with that. That's not a problem. So I'm going to bring the camera down just a tiny bit. Everything should be a little bit closer now. I have some designer series paper, and this is called the Mixed Media Florals from the online collection. And as you can see, I have already been loving this paper and using a lot of it. So I took my paper snips, and all I did with it was cut some of it. Now, I'm going to move that aside so I don't accidentally get something on it. And just cut this up and cut up some strips of it, and then use my paper snips to just cut it into lots of different sized pieces. There's no rhyme or reason. It's very random. Very, very random. It's very relaxed. Don't worry about it. Nothing to be worried about. It's just a very casual type of card here. We're not worried about how it's gonna be. This is very, very fun. And now I'm going to, where the seams were, it really, you can see them. So I'm going to put the paper across those seams first. And I'm going to use some of the different papers that I cut to go right across those seams. I've got another one right here. Don't worry about it being close together. No one's going to know how this looked before it was done than you. You're the only person who's going to know. So just put these little pieces on there. So have you ever done this technique before? I really hope that you'll give it a try. It's so easy and fun, and the results are so beautiful. And I can see right here that the adhesive had come off a little bit, so I'm going to put a piece of paper there. And then all you do at this point is fill it in. So we just take the pieces and randomly put them in and fill it up. And it can be as tight as you want or as open as you want. You can not have them close together, or maybe you're someone who likes to have things really close together. That's up to you. It's however you want your card to look. And we just put it in all these different places and fill it up. All right, so just placing the pieces down. I want some more of these little ones in there, and I think I'll put this one like that. And oh, I don't have any of these on here yet. We got to use this piece. That's a nice big one too. And then when you're starting to get into the smaller spots, you can just take your paper snips and trim it so that you have a smaller piece. If sometimes they kind of bump into each other, that's okay. The end result, it's gonna look awesome. Don't worry about it. And You know, it really doesn't need all that much more. Do you think you would put more on there? Do you think I should have more pieces on here? Let's see. Right there on the edge. And I think I'll put this one there. Oh, you know, that's almost done. I've got a couple of spots here still. Let's see. There. Okay. Oh, I've got this tiny little one. Must be from another card that I did. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Take Your Pick tool and just go up to the edges a little bit and push them down into that adhesive. All right. So what I've done by covering up the spots that weren't covered really well with the adhesive is they're not going to show up in the next step. Okay. I think that's pretty good. Now what we're going to do is we are going to turn it over and trim using the paper snips, and keep your fingers off of that adhesive sticky stuff and trim off all these little edges where it's hanging over. There we go. Ah. I'm not going to worry about if it's not perfect because it gets trimmed down later. And right here, trim that up, trim this one. All right, one more edge to do. Very good. All right, set all that aside. Now I'm going to bring in embossing powder, and we want to really coat this. We get it really well coated with the embossing powder, trying to get all the nooks and crannies, all the little spots in there, and get it really well on where the adhesive sheet is. I'm going to bring in the brush that comes with this little toolkit, the embossing toolkit, and brush off extra powder that might be on the paper. But you know what? With this technique, if some of these have embossing powder that ends up getting set on it, it's okay. It still looks really good. It doesn't matter. All right. Excellent. Okay, I think that's pretty well coated. And now it's time to bring in the heat tool. So you bring in the heat tool. Now, is this going to be really loud? I don't know. We'll find out how loud it is to everybody. But it takes a little bit of time, and then we melt all of the embossing powder. So where it has melted, it's all glossy and it's just gorgeous looking. I have one that I already had done to help save us a little bit of time. It's all melted on there. And now what I'm going to do is simply bring in the trimmer, and I'm going to trim it down. I found that a really good size for this, because I'm going to trim it so that where the adhesive is not on the edges so that I could have my fingers on, I go ahead and trim that off. And a pretty good size ended up being about 3 3/4 by 4 3/4 for me on this. So that's what I end up doing. I'm going to go ahead and trim that down to 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. And get this up here. One more time to pass through. There. All right. I'm going to adhere it to a mat of Poppy Parade, because that goes so well with this mixed media florals. And looking for my adhesive. I like to use a tape roller. Maybe you're someone who really enjoys using the liquid glue. That's fine. Whichever adhesive you like to use is the best. And placing it on there. Good. I've got the base of some thick basic white cardstock. Using the bone folder now, I'm going to go ahead and smooth that down. And let's see, I'm going to put inside the card so that I don't lose it, because I'm extremely good at losing these things. I'll go ahead and put the inside in. I've got a little bit of basic white with some Poppy Parade to surround it. And I'm going to use a little strip of that same designer series paper at the bottom. So that helps tie everything together and makes it look very cohesive from the outside to the inside. And it just looks so nice for the recipient to have everything look all nice like that. And placing it inside. All right, so that's done. Now I'm simply going to use this with some Stampin' Dimensionals. And since it's a bigger piece, I'm going to put one in the middle too, so it doesn't go down in the middle, nice and supported. Taking the paper backing off. All right, placing it on. So this is a little bit embossy powdery here. Okay, I used the foam adhesive here and cut it in half. They come in sheets like this, and I cut it in half, put it behind the Poppy Parade, peeled off one side, put it behind the Poppy Parade, and then ran it through the cut and emboss machine with the outline, which is this one right here, to come up with this. So it almost looks like it has dimensionals behind it right away before you even put it onto your project, which is really cool. And so I'll be able to just peel that off, put it on top. And now for the words. I cut them out using the cut and emboss machine with white glimmer paper. So that is going to look so fun on top of there for the recipient. A nice glittery happy birthday. And I have got a lot of birthdays right now this time of year. How about you? Yeah, a lot of birthday cards that you're sending out. I am finding that I need a lot of birthday cards right now. So I thought this would be a great time to make some, and what a fun way to get those cards done. Using the liquid glue allows me to move the word just a little bit if I need to on top of that outline. And now for the bottom part with the birthday part. I got the happy on there. Now I'm doing the birthday word. And just a tiny bit of the adhesive. Not much, just barely scraping it on there. And there we go. Okay. Perfect. All right. And that is that. So we finished the inside of the card, adding those final touches inside with the matted panel. And then we've got the happy birthday on the outside. And I have used so many designer series papers with this. So these are both with the mixed floral, mixed media florals. This one is with a celebration paper, the Feel Better Soon. It's got this bright yellow with it, and that is so much fun. And this is called Bloom's Impressions, I believe. And that's free. Here's Stampin' Up's celebration that's going on right now. This is with the Country Lace. Isn't it absolutely gorgeous? And this is a great card for a guy or a gal. And this technique is very good for any, gender that you wanted to use it for. It's just perfect for sending out for any type of occasion. Just have some fun with it. And I mixed it up with the Misty Moonlight and the Granny Apple Green for this one. This one's got some Daffodil Delight and of course the Poppy Parade that we used today. So the possibilities are just endless with this technique, and I can't wait to see what you create. Now, if you already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, that's okay, but if you choose to use me, I would really appreciate your support so very much. All right, well, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. And if you enjoyed the video, and I hope you did, please be sure you give it a thumbs up. Follow me on social media, YouTube, subscribe. Any of those things help grow my small business and mean so much. It's free and makes a big difference to my very small business. I appreciate your support. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day and that you have a chance to get inky. Bye-bye.